You're going to have a call to action.
Absolutely, every time.
Boom.
You got it.
Because that's what we do.
Done.
We say what? If you want it,
you get on my buyer list.
You
get yours too. Because you getting this too.
This
right?
is so much fun. I want to do it again tomorrow. Same place, same time.
All right, Tamika.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for being here today.
You're more than welcome.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk about Multigen. I'm excited to talk about lending and money. Even a little bit of mindset I think we talked about getting into as well.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
This will be really, really fun. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yes, ma'am.
But first of all, we need to know who you are.
Okay.
And why people need to listen to you.
Well, my name is Tamika Hunt. I'm with Cross Country Mortgage. I've been in lending for 20 years now. The time goes so fast. One of my goals is to help each person that I speak with to become a homeowner if that's their heart's desire. I believe that homeownership is for everyone. I am a military spouse as well, and I have 2 lovely boys. So that's a little bit about me.
Good deal. So what got you into the lending business?
To be honest with you, finance is my background. I have a concentration in real estate. I was in property management. I actually went to real estate school just for work. I did not sit and take a test, but one of my goals years and years and years ago was to get into real estate and own an apartment complex. That goal did change because there are so many ways to build wealth, right?
Right.
Yes, so I became a financial advisor, and my manager at the time started a mortgage brokerage.
Okay.
There was more flexibility. There were less face-to-face meetings I had to have to make things happen, and it became a good way to build a business and start a family and be a good supportive spouse to a hardworking veteran.
Wow. Awesome.
Yes,
I didn't know that about you.
You did.
As much as we talk, there's some parts I didn't know. I didn't know about you moving into that you wanted to do your goal to do the apartment complex and how you shifted. That's another thing about real estate that I really, really love about real estate is the opportunity to do so many things. It's not just becoming a real estate agent. It's just not just being an investor. There's so many ways to build wealth in real estate. So thank you for sharing that.
You're more than welcome.
So today we want to focus on Multigen.
Okay.
So what is Multigen, right? Multigenerational housing, where more than one generation lives under one roof or sharing a wall, one of the two on the same property. There may be some misconceptions when it comes to lending for that. An opportunity, it doesn't necessarily have to be the family or the spouses that are under that one roof.
Right.
That there can be different mixes. And so how would they finance that?
Well, the really cool thing about home financing is that you can pretty much put as many people on an application that you need to get approved. So a lot of times people ask, well, do I need a co-signer or can I get a co-signer? Where that same individual you may think of as co-signing for you could also just be simply just another borrower living in the home with you. So you can start with how you're living now. So if you're living now with mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, and everyone's contributing to the household, it only makes sense that you would buy a home that can take care of mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, and everyone contribute to the mortgage process. That's going to help you to have a more affordable mortgage because 4 people are contributing, and it gives everyone a little bit of ownership. It helps everyone to have accountability, but also an opportunity to build wealth. So, and again, to your point, it doesn't have to be that blood relation. Are you now living with a roommate? Are you in college and you have 3 roommates that are not blood related to you? Are you all looking at possibly buying a home near campus where you can all contribute to rent, or your parents can, and you can have those parents contribute to that mortgage. And now you have 4 people on an application possibly.
Wow. Okay. Well, good deal. So, is there a difference between or a benefit between a co-ownership relationship versus just a co-signer, right? Is there a difference or a benefit from one or the other?
There can be a difference because with co-signing or being a co-borrower, you can be a non-occupant.
Okay, gotcha.
So sometimes you can even possibly not take ownership on the deed, but have responsibility on the note, right? So that note is going to show up on your credit report. So paying on time and knowing that the person you're going under contract with is responsible and is going to pay on time, that's important, of course. But there are various ways to kind of sort that out. And I'll just use, again, our own household, for example. if my son is in college and we're able to find him a condo near the university, well, maybe we would be his co-signer because of financial reasons, actual salary, right? Having income, or he's a student, but he could still be that main applicant. And we can be his non-occupying co-signer.
Okay. Wow. Are there any specific loan products that work better for like a multi-generational situation?
I would say that they all have their own place, and it's going to start with that applicant's profile.
Okay.
You're going to look at that applicant that's the, I'll say, least desirable, if that makes sense. I don't want to use the wrong word, but that applicant that has the lower score of them all, that's going to be where it starts, because in the mortgage process, the person with the lowest middle score is what everything is based off of.
Okay.
So when you're doing multi-generational, there could be times where everyone has a 740 and they're going to go with a conventional loan, maybe 3% down if it's their first home. If they don't have perfect credit, they can always use an FHA loan. If they decide to live in a rural community, they could use a USDA loan. But here's what's really interesting about the USDA loan is that it's going to account for all the household income. So you may or may not qualify because all 3-4 people now, we're above that income limit for the county.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's where we have to kind of take a look at that USDA financing. But let's back up to FHA. So with FHA, you need that 3.5% down payment, right? But it has limits on the price point. So depending on the county, you're at a max price point. So if we can find a property that would hold all of the members on the application, then an FHA loan would be a great way to go to, especially if someone's credit is not as pristine and clean as the other parties. So I think the other really cool thing about the loans is you can have more than one veteran on a loan. So here in our community in San Antonio, you have a lot of active duty members, you have a lot of retirees. Sometimes they have a parent, a child that's in the reserves. They have other people that also have eligibility to use their VA certificate. So you can also combine veterans and still use that VA loan.
And the beauty of it is if they have some type of disability rating, now there's a savings and sometimes even an elimination of taxes too. So that's another benefit of, taking your vets in.
That's right. That's right.
Well, good deal.
That's a good question.
I like where you were going with the, when you talked about the FHA, or more so of the person with the lowest score, understanding that, I guess it's the whole concept of you're only as strong as your weakest link in this particular.
That is true.
And so that's what you have to really consider when you're looking at it, is whose credit, making sure that you analyze that, because one has the best credit and you still want to be able to count that person's income to be able to increase the buying power, that we get to also have their credit score as well. Okay, good deal. So do you feel like that there are any advantages or specific disadvantages as well? We've talked about some advantages. Do you feel like there's any disadvantages that you've seen to having multiple buyers on a loan?
I think the only disadvantage would just be how those people communicate, how they get along. And just like if you're entering into a corporation, a partnership, any type of business deal, you need like some type of agreement.
Co-ownership agreement.
Like between all parties, separate from what the bank is needing you to do, so that you know how like the dissolution of the property will go. Like, when do we plan to sell it? When do we plan to possibly refinance it and take some of the people's names off and maybe go and buy another property? Or now these 2 or 3 individuals can buy on their own, because now you're looking at parents buying with their young adult children, just again for financial reasons. But at some point, those young adult children may also marry. They may have more stable income and are able to then buy on their own. So if they are not in a position to, let's say if the market doesn't present the best opportunity for them to refinance, the really cool thing about making those payments is whoever you want to still be responsible, allow them to make the full payment from their bank account with your name nowhere near it, so that when you get ready to go and buy another property, you don't have to count that payment. So you just need 12 months so that you don't have to count that payment that is on your credit report, because we bought it all together.
But you have that documentation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's interesting. that you brought that up. The code, it's almost like getting a prenup. You know, you know what everything is before why you still love each other.
Right.
You settle the disputes up front.
That's
like the disputes and things will come. Life will happen, and at least you have an opportunity to, you know, have a way of mitigating that, or at least knowing how you're going to resolve it up front while you're still loving each other.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Good deal. Okay, so now we've talked more about like purchasing.
Yes.
But there might be a situation where someone is in a home that has the possibility to make upgrades, or to do like an addition or build an ADU or something to that effect, to give them an opportunity to convert their home into a multi-gen. So what loan products are available for that?
That's a great question. And you're speaking of people that already own a property?
Already own the property.
So those that already own a property could get an equity loan on their property, take some money out, go pick out a contractor and get some work done, or they could sub it out themselves if they're not in an HOA that has different requirements. They could also do a renovation loan. So they could do a refinance renovation loan, where they're basically taking their current loan, refinancing it and adding to it. That one's going to be with a little more oversight. Okay. So they won't be able to just choose any old willy-nilly contractor. You know, they have to be with a vetted contractor. And it kind of goes similar to a construction loan. Okay. So there's a little bit more oversight from the bank when you're doing it that way. But if you have enough equity in the current property, we have an Equity Express product where they can have their money in about 2 weeks, and they can do all of the renovations or updates or tearing a wall down or closing in a dining room that they want to make it more user-friendly for their family setting. But I also wanted to bring up to you can do that renovation in a purchase. Oh, okay. So if you're working with a family and I have identified a community that there's only 20, 25-year-old homes, but have acre lots. Okay, gotcha. Right? Okay, so now we have room to do exactly what you said, add on or remodel what's going on the inside, convert a free space upstairs, close in a third car garage. So you can do all of those things inside of the purchase loan. Okay, that's good to know. Absolutely. So a lot of people know about the 203K, where you are bringing a home up to code for FHA requirements, right? And you can add some cosmetic items as well. Well, with a conventional loan and with a VA loan, you can do the same thing. So you can purchase and renovate all through that purchase process, have one transaction, one closing, you know, you're getting into the house the way that you want to live in the house. So I think that a lot of people overlook that. We're working with a young family right now, and if I showed you the pictures of the home on Zillow, you would be like, girlfriend, you have to have a little vision. Have to have a little vision. A whole lot of vision when the ceiling is missing. So the whole ceiling is missing. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, so they're getting a home at a great value, right? And they're going to be able to make it their own. But what I really like about this family is that they're young and they are looking down the road. So they're not looking at today. They're looking at down the road. Because is this a brand new custom built home? It's not. It's going to be a home in a great area, suited for them at this time, that they will be able to use as a rental in the future. Wow. So we got to be thinking past today. And what Multigen does for us is it gives everyone an opportunity to start where they are with what they have. Yes, ma'am. I love that. So we've talked about the opportunity to do multi-gen as far as like purchasing just a house that's already there. Yes, ma'am. We talked about even creating an opportunity to upgrade your current residence. And we also talked about being able to have a little vision and looking down the line and purchase a home and do upgrades on that home. Yes, ma'am. That's awesome. So I love that. And then I also want to put some emphasis on, it doesn't have to be all under one roof. It does not. How many units can you get? If let's just say we don't want to all be under the same roof, like what are those options? So in residential lending, you can go up to 4 units, right? So that's so good that you mentioned that. You could totally go into a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex with other family members and make it so much more affordable. And to be honest, you could start out, let's say you find a 3-bedroom duplex. There's 2 or 3 adults, and then you got a husband or wife, so they need a room. You got mom and dad, they need a room. And then we got 2 grandkids. You could actually start off living in 1 unit, all of you, rent out the other unit, and then make a forecast for a year from now to be able to live in both units yourselves. Or you could do even better, rent out the second unit and go buy you another one. Now you got 4 doors.
So we're getting into wealth building as well, not just comfortability and things like that, but we're getting into legacy building and wealth building now, those strategies.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, that's truly what it's all about. Real estate, you know, if you think about one home, one front door, one back door, it's a little bit selfish. And that's not how we're supposed to live. So if we think about building community and really helping each other get established, when my parents moved from Alabama to Arkansas, we were building what they call the Jim Walter home.
Okay.
That means they build it to the level that you can get it to and then you finish it out, right?
Okay.
So how are we able to do that? Or how were my parents able to do that? Oh, we lived with grandma and grandpa and the kids that were still at home because my dad was the oldest.
Wow.
So we lived there a few months in the dining room or wherever we slept because I was small. I didn't know. I do know that there was only one bathroom. I know that. But we made it work even though it was a little bit like, you know, a little uncomfortable. But if you get a little uncomfortable, that'll make you go after your goals even more.
Well, I know there's a lot of different cultures that follow that model.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that some of us that don't, or we've gotten used to our 2.5 bathrooms and all the things, if we go back to that, we can really build something great and our children can have something and our grandchildren can have something because once you own a home, you're creating stability. You're creating an atmosphere for these babies to blossom and be, you know, be their greatest. So home ownership means so much, just in so many ways.
Wow, that's powerful. That's so powerful.
Yes, ma'am.
How can we do a better job? Let's say as real estate agents, as lenders, how can we do a better job of educating just the general public on the benefits and how this multi-generation living is a way of not just you being comfortable, but it's a way of building wealth. It's a way to leave a legacy. And it's just, there's so many other benefits to it. Yeah, there's some cons to it, but there's so many other benefits to it. How can we, what can we do to be better at getting the word out?
So one thing that we can do better, and you do very well, is listening. If we listen more and talk less, we will be able to solve more problems. So I think that in my maturity now, I'm getting to a different level of listening, and not just listening for why they don't want to buy a home, but listening to what happened to them that got them to this place where they can't even trust themselves to own a home. So I think listening is my number one response to your question. Educating, remembering that you have value, because when you show the value that you have, that will automatically elevate the person you're working with so that they can recognize and realize the value that they have. And that if they have all that value, why should they keep paying rent? Don't they deserve something greater? But they have to believe that about themselves, which gets you into mindset. So outside of numbers, forecasting what values can be in the future, helping people become unafraid of owning versus renting, you know, the normal stuff that we always fall to, it becomes, hey, I'm here for you, not going anywhere. Numbers not going to change. I got your back. So it becomes that. It becomes relational, becoming family and sisters and brothers all together so that people are unafraid, because we're professionals right here in what we do. They're professionals in what they do. Right? So the RN, girlfriend, I don't even know what the blood pressure numbers mean. Like, I don't even know.
Don't want to know, really.
All I know is they said it's high. So what do I need to take? Right? So I got to decide, though, if my blood pressure is high, am I willing to make a change? Mindset. Am I willing to walk? Am I willing to change my diet? So before you can get a person to the next level, they got to want it. There you go.
So it's really about planting seeds right now, and just continue to water that seed and let them know that it's so possible. It's possible, and not just the traditional way that we've been purchasing houses, because again, we've got an affordability crisis that we have going on right now.
For sure.
And so thinking about, you know, mom over here that's just, you know, wanted to get her, you know, downsize, and so she's paying a $500,000 mortgage over here. Then you've got daughter and son, they're each paying a $500,000 mortgage.
That's true.
And being able to bring that together, I mean, that's what, $1.5 million.
It is.
We're in a $1.3 million house right now. Y'all get to see it on another video. And being able to have plenty of space for everyone. your own bathrooms, having your own living space for those that want it. It's almost like a little small apartment.
Right.
And just really creating a different way of thinking to create just a different situation.
It's a different way of thinking, but it's also like a different lifestyle.
It is a different lifestyle. That's a good point.
Now, if you think about this property, could it hold 2-3 families? Absolutely, it could, very comfortably. But now that I'm saving, I can go on that trip that I wanted to go on for 2 weeks. Now that I'm saving, I can put my child in that sport that they've been wanting to do. And guess what? Who can come? Grandma can help watch them when they get home, you know? So there could be some other things. I can invest more in my 401k. I can do this or that. So it's so much more than the monthly payment and affordability, but it's our ability to go forward, to move forward. And it may not be for everybody, but for those who are thinking, how can I do this? Well, look at what you're doing now to make ends meet, what all the people in your life are doing, and how can we do it better if we came to the table. You know, on Sunday, I used to eat dinner together.
Just bring it all to the table.
Bring it to the table.
Wow. I'm so glad you brought the lifestyle piece up, because that's really a key thing that you see definitely in other cultures.
Yes, ma'am.
And so something that we can kind of bring to, not kind of, but help to bring back. Just that opportunity to have community.
Absolutely.
And really help one another and not create the separation. And because we struggling separate, like why have the struggle, and we can come together. Like you said, if you take a look at all of the things that you're already doing and how you can complement that or supplement and have a supplement to that with the other family members, man, that's powerful.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about down payment.
Let's talk about it.
Are there strategies like gift funds and different things like that on how to bring together? You mentioned earlier how auntie over here can sell her home to bring over here to renovate a current home, or she can bring it together. Both aunties can sell their homes and go into something in a new construction. So let's talk about how the family could potentially come together and maybe gift funds or something like that to bring together a down payment.
Right. So if they are purchasing a property and not renovating one, they're going to need one of two down payments: 3% if they're first-time buyers conventional, or 3.5% if they're doing an FHA loan. So let's just use the 3.5% number. That's the majority of people starting out. So they can look at what resources they have in their checking, savings account, any types of CDs, money market. They can look at their 401k plans to see if they can borrow from those. The really cool thing about what's going on now is that most people's 401ks are up a bit, especially, than before. So they have a little bit of money there they can grab, and you can use it toward buying a home without a penalty. I didn't say no taxes, but without a penalty. So we have a 401k. We could also do a gift from someone outside of the purchase on the contract. So maybe there's another family member or a rich uncle, that, hey, I told you when you bought a house, I was going to give you $5,000. The important thing that I find is people will say, I do have someone that will help me. I have someone that can give to me money. My question is, how much? They never have that answer. So like, okay, who is it that can help you buy a home? Oh, it's my uncle, Uncle Curtis. He can help me. Great. Call Uncle Curtis after this meeting and ask him, hey, Uncle Curtis, I remember you sharing with me that you would help me with purchasing a home. I'm getting ready to start that process. How much can you help me with, Uncle Curtis? Now, Uncle Curtis is your great uncle. So Uncle Curtis says, baby, I can help you with $2,000. And you're like, I was thinking more like 20. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Uncle Curtis is your great uncle. So $2,000 sounds like a lot of money to Uncle Curtis. So what do you say to Uncle Curtis? You say, Uncle Curtis, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll let you know when I need that money. Don't send it to me right now.
Yeah, right.
So now we can count on Uncle Curtis for $2,000. So remind me more uncles is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
so how many uncles can you have?
Oh man, you can have as many gifts as you want.
Okay.
They just need to be related to you, or a really close friend that you can prove a long time relationship with, like going back on Facebook, checking out some pictures of you two, going to different events in each other's lives. But so you can have multiple gifters. All they have to do is sign a gift letter and then transfer that money to the title company that they've agreed to give to you. So there are so many ways you can come up with money. If you start planning in advance, you can start get rid of some of the things you no longer need. Start selling some of the things. Set up a special savings for purchasing a home. But what I would say is don't let the inability to have a down payment prevent you from starting the process, from knowing where you are, and from looking at other means and other programs, because we have a variety of programs to help people get into a home comfortably who don't have a lot of large a liquid cash account. So yeah.
So you talked about the buying a home. What about people upgrading? Like, what are some different ways to look at strategies for people that are about to sell their house, and is necessary to use all of the money? Like any like different strategies on that standpoint?
So each person is going to be different, but I would say number one in that is consulting a realtor such as yourself. So having a great realtor partner is going to help them make the wisest decision as far as selling their current home, or maybe that realtor says, this is a great rental market. Let's keep this home as a rental property. All that does is it just delays the sale for you down the line, because now you've told them what's in their best interest. But there's equity. So we can get the equity out of that house by using an Equity Express loan or whichever type of product that best suits them. Take enough for the down payment for the next home. Take some money out, maybe pay some bills off. Maybe they got a couple car notes with $6,000 left on the vehicle. Let's go ahead and knock that $800 payment out so we can afford the next home. So at the end of the day, having a realtor that's going to give them advice on either keeping the home or selling the home, and listening to what their desires are. And then having a financial expert that's going to help them implement a good plan and help them see why this plan makes sense. Sometimes you'll get those Burger King clients though, man. They come in and they're like, look at here. I want it like this. I want that Whopper. Yeah, just give me all those toppings. I'm gonna need some cheese on mine, but hold a mayo. You got those. She's like, did you know Burger King had a chicken sandwich now? And they'll be like, did you know that Burger King had a fish sandwich now? And they're like, well, yeah, but I really want this Whopper. And you're like, you know what? I'm about to serve it up to you just like you asked. So you have to know your client. Because sometimes they just want a Whopper.
Interesting. You took me back.
I know, right? To the cups or to the hats?
You took me back. You took me back to that Burger King girl. I was like, Burger King. I wanted that way. I would have went Backstreet Boys or something. So I'm excited to hear about some success stories of you working with families that want to explore multi-gen housing.
Yes. So we recently helped a young lady and her grandparents. Lovely family. We worked with them for about a year. So we started with everyone, grandpa, grandma, and the granddaughter, right? Everyone. So we worked with them, worked with their credit, looked at their income and their assets. So what was really interesting about this family is that they had come into a large sum of money.
Had a windfall.
They had a large sum of money in the bank. We could never get all of the people's credit together. So we ended up getting the granddaughter's credit together. So we utilized the money that grandma and grandpa had to help the grandbaby get into a property that they could all live in together, because what were they doing right now? Living together. They were already living together. So because of grandpa's health conditions, granddaughter needed to be there to assist grandma. So now they've gone from renting to using the money that they would have likely seen just dwindle away, because that's what happens if you don't have a place to put it, right? Now they're owning a home in an affordable payment that actually, when grandma and grandpa aren't even here, the grandbaby will still be able to afford it because they utilize that money to put down on it. So such a great story. We actually sent out an email and they were our success story for this month, because it took some patience and some working together. They would all be available for our calls. I think that's important too, just making sure that everyone who raises their hand and says, I'm in, that they show up to the meetings. So you have to have that buy-in. It's not just a say I'm in, but it's an action. I'm in, let's do it. No matter how long it takes, let's do it. So now they own a home.
That's
so
awesome.
It is awesome.
I love to hear that.
There's so many more, but I mean, just at thinking about that family and the time that it took to get there, and then the reworking of the file many times, re-pulling their soft credit checks, seeing where they were, what were they going to do, how much longer did they want to keep doing the same thing, going around the same mountain, right? Or do we just want to stop there because y'all aren't going to move over here? But grandbaby's ready, right? So at some point, some decisions have to be made.
And you do an excellent job. You and your team do an excellent job of making sure that it happens.
Yes.
Some kind of way, like solving that problem, making sure that happens. I'm curious, what moved them to go ahead and come into home ownership? So you said they were renting and living together in rent home.
Correct.
What made them move to wanting to own a home? Do you know what their motivation was?
To be honest, they were referred to us by their realtor, right?
Yeah.
So their realtor had a longer relationship with them. It was someone, I won't say her necessarily in her sphere, but someone she didn't just meet online.
Right.
But she had already established that relationship, that trust. And when she did what I call an honor referral, she referred them to us with honor. They automatically knew that whatever time frame it took, they were buying a home together. So it was already
Gotcha. Okay.
It was pre-established because their realtor did their part. So their realtor didn't have to do anything else. But when we said they were pre-approved, find them a home and then let their light shine, right? So that honor referral and who you choose to work with, when you work with a professional, just like yourself, you're going to get all the bells and whistles that you deserve. You're going to be well taken care of. You're going to be heard. Your calls are going to be returned. You're going to have a process that you understand, that you can appreciate what someone did for you, and that at the end of the day, you'll want to refer that person out. So that's who you always want to select to work with, a person who you would refer to someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and plug your team.
Let's plug them.
Plug them. Let's go. Let's do some plugging.
Well, so we are the Hunt team. I actually have 3 team members and a processor. So I have a total of 4 team members that assist me every day, which is why I'm able to be here. And I'm so blessed and so grateful. They work so hard. And their main goal is to find out, how can we get you into a home? So if you have that thought every day when you get up, how can we help whomever that calls, emails, texts, get them into a home? Not what's going wrong with them, but how can we get them into a home? If we have that outlook on things, and that's something I reinforce daily with my team, we work on positivity. We work on placing judgment where it needs to be, which is not with us. We work on so many things just to work on our individual selves. We want that thing to just jump off through Zoom, through phone, through text, through email. We want to give that to the next person, because our goal is to do mortgages, but I also feel that it is what I'm called to do in ministry. That is something so much greater than myself and than people getting keys, because God doesn't give us homes for us. He gives us homes for Him. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. Love it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't covered?
Well, I would just like to say really to our audience that's watching that if you find anything of value, to please share in the comments, share the information out on social media, make this information go viral. We want to build wealth amongst all people, not just one people, not just one culture, not just one background, but we are all here together. And the more that we have available, the more we can share, the more we can give. And if you have not yet chosen a team to work with, consider us, because we work well together, and that means that we'll work well for you.
Yes, we will.
Yes, ma'am.
The Hunt team.
Yes, ma'am.
And the Jamila Tanu team.
Yes, ma'am.
The Jamila Tanu group, more specifically. But team. Love it.
Yes.
All right, that's a wrap.